Hello and welcome to Grumpy Gamers. This week No, I don't know what I was talking about there. What does Pete say?
Is this...
Sorry?
What does Pete say?
Is that the intro?
Hello and welcome to Grumpy Gamers.
Hello and
welcome to Grumpy Gamers.
My name
let me
is...
think it through.
I'm Kirk,
We have to
You're
say
here with-
names to introduce us. What's wrong with you
But
guys?
anyway, it doesn't matter. This week, we've alongside me, I've got Eddie. There we
Hello.
go.
Hello.
And Kirk.
Yeah, hello. All right.
And yet again, we have Donnie.
You're keeping this in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's annoying, Donnie? Like, even though it would be so easy just to stop and start again, but Ben just can't be asked.
No, I can't. And the thing is, the thing that got me was that a couple of weeks ago you said that I was so lackluster with my
I thought
intros.
that was quite shit, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I was going to wait till you finish the introductions and say...
Right, well, actually, I was looking at the bars on my Audacity and it went right up to the top. I thought, okay, that's quite good. And then I just forgot what Pete says.
I don't know how you managed to make a pig's ear of that. You made it worse than the last time, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely
You
worse than
literally
last
managed
time.
to make it worse. And I want you to host again when Pete's not here and just bring it down even further. It would probably just be silence.
Well, Kirk, that's what happens when Pete's not here. I do host, so he's not here for next week.
Bring the
or
energy
the week
down,
after.
though. Bring the energy down.
So we can expect it to get worse and worse from this point.
Excellent.
Woo-hoo.
So when Pete, fucking hell, that's going to be a weird feeling when he's back.
But when Pete comes back, it's going to be like some monumental return.
It will be, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bring back Pete. That's what I say.
Hashtag bring back Pete. Nice. If we're good about that. Right, so yes, we have Donnie with us yet again. And I mean, the original motivation for bringing you back was to discuss the PSVR. But how did...
Oh, yeah. How did that go?
That's kind of awkward because I cancelled it.
I cancelled your pre-order.
Get that down.
Yeah, I did.
But the story doesn't end there, though. Does it?
Thanks for this, Ben. I really appreciate you chucking me right under the bus for that. No, well, you see, I cancelled the pre-order, and what I didn't realise was the charger unit is a separate order, and that arrived in the post.
Oh, that's brilliant. How much did that cost?
It's like 50 quid.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
My God.
So now you have a unit that you can't even use to put your controllers on.
Sorry, you were complaining about the money of the PSVR and you'd spent an additional 50 quid on a charging unit.
Yeah. It looks cool, you know.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Did you give it to Craig? You giving it to Craig?
No, he's got his own. I just need to send it back. I've got a returns label here. But it's fucking DPD and they're a million miles from where I live, so...
That is the worst, though, isn't it? Like, you've already got FOMO, and then that turns up.
And that turns up.
You might as well get the unit now.
No,
That's
not
what I
happening.
said, yeah.
No,
I would.
Might as well.
No. Not happening. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't have a VR unit, but I have a charger. It's, look at it right now. It's nice. It looks good. It's snazzy.
I could tell that you're leaning over and looking at it.
Yeah,
no.
That's it. Right there, baby.
I was going to be honest with you. I was close to clicking to buy one, to be honest with you. But,
Were you?
Yeah, seriously. But I think I'm probably going to give it 2 months.
An arbitrary 2 months.
Yeah.
Give it those 2 months.
Yeah, I just want to iron out the kinks before I get involved.
What kinks are you talking about?
Oh. That was a good segue that we've ruined.
Yeah, I know, because there is a bit in the quick news, but never mind.
We ruined it. Sorry, pal.
Yeah, it's fine.
I blame Kirk.
Yeah. Right, anyway, this week we'll be talking the news, new releases, what we've been playing, and our feature will actually be the Sony State of Play from last week. Yeah, lots to talk on with that one, so look forward to that. We'll start off with the quick news, though. We've talked about it for many weeks in a row now, but the Korean-based calendar app company has confirmed that it actually does indeed hold the trademark the day before. So the game that has now been removed from Steam and YouTube, it was confirmed that trademark thing was real, and they are fighting to protect that trademark.
It's a scam. It's a scam.
Yeah. So expect the game to probably have to change its name. So,
it is going to be the week before. Or the night before, wasn't it? That was
the night before. The night before, yeah.
They might as well.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. If anything, it'll gain them more traction.
Yes.
But another game that was incredibly highly wishlisted was Sons of the Forest, and that actually came out last week. And it sits comfortably on top of the Steam charts by revenue. And it's in early access, so that's fucking good for an early access game.
Nice.
I don't really know how this game just gained so much traction, but it does look quite good. I've heard that it's got quite a few bugs, but people
What hasn't? What hasn't?
Yeah.
Well, especially early access, you put that label on it, and
The access
expect
is
it.
forgivable. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So there we go. What isn't forgivable is probably the Legend of Dragoon port. So the port came to modern consoles, and it's reportedly littered with bugs and game-breaking ones at that. So not being able to complete the story, not being able to carry on. If anybody's thinking about buying this, probably do your research. I think Donnie dropped a note in before the pod and said that a patch has dropped at 5 o'clock, so on the 27th of February.
Yes.
That might fix it. I probably wouldn't hold out huge amounts of hope, but
I had a little look because it just started. The update started downloading about 5 o'clock on my. I was like, oh, there's a patch. And
right. Have you got it? Have you?
Yeah, I've got it because obviously it's on the new PS Plus this month. So I checked on Twitter, and someone who was playing the game has downloaded the patch, and it seems to have fixed what the major bugs were.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Were they stuck? Were they at a game-breaking bit?
Essentially, they could keep playing the game, but if you did a certain act within a battle, it fucked the game. So that now no longer happens.
Yeah, I heard that you couldn't use certain spells or something as well, and all this kind of stuff.
I don't understand how something so like what is it, a 25, 30-year-old game?
Yeah.
And I just don't know how they can't port something like that over. Like surely it's not running on proper PS1 hardware. It's emulated, isn't it? So how I mean, I don't know how it works, but come on, guys.
Same, yeah. And it's one of these things you think, how did something so fundamental slip through the cracks? Because it's not as if it's just you've wandered into an area of the map and the game just crashes. That can get missed. Because it's not as if it's 100 people testing this game, but it's something so fundamental.
The actual story, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember the KOTOR port that came to, was it the Switch?
Switch.
That couldn't be completed.
Oh,
was it the KOTOR? Was it KOTOR 2? Yeah. One of the two. Something. It couldn't be completed, and it does make you question, like, well, does somebody actually play this through? Is the QA, does it happen, or do they just go, oh, it should work? There's no reason why it shouldn't.
Yeah,
I think
just assume it is. Just assume.
Well, it must happen. Yeah. But anyway, well, research that one, see if it actually has fixed everything. Next one, Call of Duty. So there's a new Call of Duty coming out in 2023.
Didn't actually know that. Didn't know that.
Yeah, there wasn't supposed to be this year.
No, it's meant to be a DLC.
That's the thing.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be an expansion. But now it's a standalone title. So I think they're developing on the storyline in the single player from Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
And it's obviously going to have new multiplayer components and everything like that. I think fans seem to be disappointed. This Call of Duty, despite it, I actually like the gameplay of it. I think the gameplay is improved from my perspective. A lot of people don't think so. But they feel it's under-supported with maps and everything like that. And to bring out another game does seem like a bit of a piss take when this one's not really moving on and they're focusing purely on Warzone 2.
Also, who's going to develop this standalone title then? Because normally they do the old cycle, don't they, with the free studios? So obviously,
I don't know actually. I don't know.
If it was going to be an expansion for Modern Warfare 2, that would be surely Infinity Ward that would do that. But
You'd think so. You would. Yeah, you would think so. But maybe they're thinking about this as an opportunity to just pass it over because Infinity Ward, well, they have been criticised quite heavily. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's not hard to believe it would be a game this year with all the fucking legal fees going on over there, you know. Plus, as well, fighting Sony over this merger that's probably costing a pretty penny. So I'm surprised it's not a second game coming out.
The franchise is fucking huge, and it will sell no matter what. So it's not hard, but it does leave a bitter taste, I think, to people, especially like myself. I bought Modern Warfare 2, and you know, it just seems a bit of a piss
You did
take,
it for Warzone, mate. That's all you did it for.
Yeah, I did.
It was an expensive battle pass for you. That's what that was.
It was. Yeah, it was. Absolutely. Let's move on. Warner Brothers, they announced Mortal Kombat 12 is coming in 2023.
Nice.
So this actually happened during a financial conference call. Weirdly, it was just said amongst themselves as they were just talking about like their financials. So people were like,
I can't give an example at the moment, but that happens quite a bit. I find.
I thought the same. I can't give an example, but I'm pretty sure. We
Usually
hear about
like
this all the time.
Nintendo's calls tend to have like name drops of things, and it's just like, yeah, that's happening. Okay.
Yeah, like this is obviously a public event because like what financial conference call is? I didn't research heavily into this. It's just in the quick news, but I assume this was like you could publicly listen to this or something. I don't.
Yeah,
don't know. Anyway, it's coming. So anybody who's a fan, there you go. Also, anybody who's a fan of Forza Horizon 5, it's getting its new expansion, its second expansion, Rally Adventure, and it's coming in March. So that game is keeping on going. Resident Evil 4, the remake that comes out next month. I'm actually really looking forward to that. I assume, Kirk, you'd be getting that. Yeah,
got it on pre-order.
Lovely. It's getting a free VR DLC for PSVR 2. I'm sure Donnie's interested in that.
That's a cheap shot, man.
Fucking hell. It's currently in development, and it will allow for the full game to be played.
God, mate, that's fucking awesome.
It's fucking great, isn't it? Like, Resident Evil, Capcom, they're smashing it on the VR stuff. Like, the Resi 7 being able to be played fully VR, like that's what games need to do. You know, Gran Turismo 7 is getting wildly praised for its PSVR mode.
Yeah.
For VR to be a success across any platform, you have to be doing this. Like, the big games need to be putting VR modes out, don't they?
Yeah. I do hope that they kind of go back to Resi 2 as well and do the remake of that in VR. I know that modders have done it on PC, but
have they?
Yeah, so I would hope that Capcom go back and do that one. That would be quite terrifying, especially if you got Mr. X fucking chasing you from behind.
Oh Christ, that'd be horrendous.
Yeah,
that'd be horrendous. As soon as that started to happen, I ditched that game.
Same.
That's a shame. Well, along those lines, No Man's Sky also got a big update and is now on PSVR 2 as well.
Cool.
Shout out to No Man's Sky, by the way. It's such a great game. It's such a great game, and it's so
Eddie,
underappreciated.
you like that game, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's so underappreciated. I wish I had more time. It's a bit like Destiny 2. I wish I had more time to play it because it is really underappreciated. And what they've built in that game, I get the fact the launch was terrible. We know that. But do you know what? It's 4 or 5-ish years later. The game's fucking superb.
Yeah, they've done so much.
It's probably the best example, isn't it, of redeeming yourself from
that and Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
Those two. I do always say that. I do. Gotta say it. Gotta give it its dues. At this point, it might be good, seeing as Eddie's piped up, it might be good to say that Eddie's pretty ill tonight, so I'm not sure how much, because I did ask you that. I went like, oh, Eddie, you like the game? I thought, maybe probably not best to get involved.
I'm pretty negative today. You should have seen me doing the new releases. I was like, oh, can I just say no? Can I just go, nah, this game is shit. That's all I'm going to say. So no, go on, put some effort in. Ben won't.
Well, we're gonna look forward to your negative opinions then throughout the show. Hopefully, Kirk will be on the end of it, not me.
Cheers, mate.
Right. No problem. Next one. Tango GameWorks studio head Shinji Mikami will be leaving in a couple of months. So it's been confirmed by Bethesda. He was the one that worked on Evil Within, Ghostwire, and Hi-Fi Rush. And am I right in thinking he was the guy on the showcase event for Hi-Fi Rush?
No idea.
I cannot remember, to be honest with you. I don't pay attention to the names when they come up, which is
okay.
terrible.
I thought it may be him, but anyway, he's possibly retiring, possibly starting a new studio. So wait,
those are two very different
one.
things, you know.
Yeah, two very.
Well, they are because, but it's, you know, it was put out there like, oh no, this is a massive thing. He could just be retiring. So.
I don't know how old. I'm thinking logically. Okay, he created Resident Evil, something. So he must be late 50s at best, maybe early 60s. He ain't retiring, man. Surely not. Your last game is not.
I would love to retire at that age.
I'm sorry, but your last game is not Hi-Fi Rush. Okay, you're not going out like that, man. Shinji Mikami's not going out like that.
Yeah, true. But he did make Ghostwire, and Ghostwire.
I know. It was good. Ghostwire's really good.
It's very underappreciated.
It is. Yeah, I agree totally.
It's an excellent game.
Yep.
So.
I think there's something else.
Okay, new studio time then. Donnie's all in.
Yeah.
Good stuff. We got some news on Elden Ring. It sold 20 million copies.
Shit, the bed.
That's a beast, isn't it? And Hogwarts Legacy in 2 weeks sold 12.
Yeah.
12
so 20 million copies for Elden Ring since Feb last year.
Yeah, so 1 year.
12 million for Hogwarts in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's quite nuts, isn't it? When you
Yeah.
think about it.
Especially when people try to push the narrative that people don't buy games anymore. Do you know what I mean? Well, clearly, do you know what? You make a good game and people will buy it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's like that's
a good game attached to a good IP, and then you're all in, aren't you?
Yeah, and that's staggering. 20 million for a Souls game is staggering.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, yeah, it absolutely is. That took the world by storm because Souls games aren't everyone's cup of tea, but
that's
Elden
why
Ring
I think
was.
your point is even more important. Is I think you don't even need to be attached to an IP. If you make a good game, people will buy it. I bought Elden Ring, and I don't give a fuck about those kind of games. I actually strongly dislike those kind of games. But after hearing all the reviews and hearing how good it is, I had to buy it. I bought it, and I bet a lot of those people, the 20 million, probably half of them, aren't into that type of game. But they bought it because they're hearing from friends, from the internet, how good it is, and therefore they bought it. Hogwarts Legacy probably has a lot of Harry Potter fans attached to that, but still.
Of course, yeah.
But the Elden Ring, you make a good, probably half or more, probably of the Elden Ring people who bought Elden Ring just aren't fans of the Souls genre.
At least certainly minimum half, because if you look at the sales numbers of some of the other games, it wouldn't even be 10. The game wouldn't be 10 million if it was.
Let's Dark Souls 3, for instance.
So
you're definitely not getting that. You're probably getting a couple of million.
Yeah.
So
It's a phenom, that game. I can't believe it's done 20 million.
Yeah, absolutely. And lastly, this one will cheer you up, Eddie. The spring Steam sale has been announced for the 16th to the 23rd of March.
Woo. Lovely.
So there we go. Get some more 69p games down your gullet.
Oh, yeah, lots of 69p games coming.
Yeah, lovely.
Lovely job.
I've said lastly, actually, we got a couple more because they didn't make it to the main news, but the PSVR 2 that we talked about, users are reportedly talking about controller issues. So there's a whole Reddit thread on this, and I've watched some videos on some YouTubers, and they said there are some controller issues that need to be.
The thing is with that, we'd have first-hand experience if Donnie had actually fucking followed through.
Yeah, good point,
wow.
Kurt. Good point, yeah.
Wow, that's two low blows. Okay. I'll see what this
Why is
day's
Donnie on? Is there...
Yeah, I know, like the whole reason.
The whole reason was that.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. You don't have to, you don't have to say it right now, but that could have been a conversation for later, but that's fine. Yes, and we got another one that Donnie, you added just before the podcast. I mean, and we are talking about Xbox news in the main news, but Phil Spencer actually came out and said that even if the Activision deal doesn't go through, Xbox will still exist. And I think the most worrying thing about this is that he had to fucking say it. Well, Jesus Christ, Phil! Yeah. Nobody needed you to say that, did they?
I think it's more. I think it's more to do with the fact that people think that because the whole Xbox is just trying to buy as many IPs as possible just to try and cement itself to survive. There's a lot of that going around, so I think it's more not like an existential crisis sort of thing. It's just, we will be here even if this deal doesn't go through because we've still got other great games going on. So
yeah. What doesn't
help is you've got your usual sort of Twitter mouthpieces claiming that, I've heard little rumours that if it doesn't go through, Microsoft are going to look to sell off the Xbox game and just like shite like that. So I think these things probably aren't helping the conversation either.
Yeah, so he's probably just having to say it to for the casual or semi into it kind of gaming thing. Yeah, he probably just feels like he has to. But okay, well, on to the main news because there'll be more Xbox stuff in there, I'm sure.
Cool. I'll go first. Embracer signs huge Lord of the Rings movie deal. Woo! I don't know if you remember, but in August last year, Embracer bought the rights to J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit franchises. And then it stated that it wanted to explore additional movies based on iconic characters such as Gandalf, Aragorn, Gollum, Galadriel, and Ewan. Now there's been a lucrative film deal signed with New Line Cinema and Warner Bros. As Embracer are planning multiple movies, expanding on the works of Tolkien. Currently 5 Lord of the Rings games are in the works with Embracer, all planned for release of the financial year 2023-24, which is a pretty cool game. They've got the Gollum game as well, which is in production, and Embracer will get royalties from that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I love Lord of the Rings, although funnily enough, I'm not even caught up on the TV series, which I feel bad. I think it's because I started with my missus, And when you start something the missus, you kind of have to wait for her to watch the next one. Yeah. I think she doesn't.
It's cheating otherwise, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be a naughty boy and just actually carry on watching it now. But yeah, I'm excited about the movies. I really hope I love Aragorn, and I love Gandalf, and Gandalf obviously is God knows how old, so they could really go big with that story arc. I don't know. What do you guys want?
Is this going down the same Star Wars route? Because Star Wars, everyone used to be so excited when anything Star Wars came out. Yeah, and now I don't care.
Ones. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, even though I really like The Mandalorian, but that was where I then dropped off. Then I'm not into it from that point. And even though Obi-Wan was supposed to be really good, I watched a couple of episodes and then that was that, wasn't it? So I don't know, the TV series, I haven't got round to watching the Lord of the Rings TV series either. No doubt they'll do numbers, but do people just get fatigued by all this stuff?
No.
I think going by some of the viewing figures and things of the MCU recently, and some of the ratings and review, you're like, well, I think people are getting a bit tired of that. But as Lord of the Rings, I don't think Lord of the Rings is ever going to hit that kind of milking of. But yeah, I've got no horse in this race. I've seen one of the films. I think.
Wow.
I don't know.
You've seen one? Sorry, you've just seen one of the films.
Yeah. I've saw one of them. I saw the end of it was 3 films, wasn't it? I saw the end of the 3rd one, and a big fucking bird came in and saved the day, and I'm like, oh, that's convenient. Spoilers. 30 years later. And I might. Yeah. To be fair, the first one was actually alright in terms of action, but
the thing is, there are people that fucking.
What's the least action film?
I'm going to go big here and say I think it's the best trilogy of all time.
Okay, it's fair enough.
I think it's better than The Godfather, which I think is a 10 out of 10 trilogy. Never. I think Star Wars is like a 9 out of 10. The first 3, 9 out of 10. I think Lord of the Rings is by far.
The second film is class.
I mean, yeah, but Ben, the first one, rewatching the first one, you still get chills throughout the whole thing.
Oh, it is wonderful. It is, yeah. But then you go into the action-packed second one.
I care not for Lord of the Rings. I've seen all of them. I couldn't tell you much about them anymore. I watched them when they first came out, but I never fully understood the hype around it. But I'll tell you one thing: my roommate does enjoy watching them every so often. And I came in the other day and she was watching. I think it was the second one where they go back to the house. Is that right? Is it the second one or was that the third one?
When they go back to the
house.
Is it back to Frodo's house or is it Bilbo's house? No, it's Frodo, isn't it?
At the very end of the third one.
Well, that spoilers, I know. But she was
after they've gone to Mordor and everything.
And she was.
That's like the.
It's the return journey.
She was bawling her eyes out.
Return journey,
guys. She was bawling her eyes out, and I was just like, "What are you crying at?" And she went, "It's just this film. It's just amazing." And I was like,
"It is."
Okay, okay, sure. So what? My point here is. It still is a massive deal, to a lot of people. So this will, I think that fatigue will probably hit at some point. It's happened with Marvel. It's happened with Star Wars.
But Marvel have had how many movies?
No,
30 odd.
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
Yeah. No, okay. Well, that's a conversation for another time.
6, 5. Is it The Hobbit part 1, 2, and 3? I think.
Can we? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Can we all agree that Gotham game looks shite?
Oh, it's horrendous. Wow. It's horrendous.
It looks tragic. Looks absolutely tragic. But they've got 5 games in the works. I didn't know about any of these. All scheduled to come out this fucking year.
Yeah.
We're taking the hobbits to Isengard. We're taking the hobbits to Isengard. So do I.
Donnie, you don't know anything about the fucking hobbits. You can shut up.
What is a hobbit?
Me.
Good. Yeah, to be fair. Yeah.
I love how we all unanimously said that.
I would say you're more of a dwarf because they're fatter.
I mean, you gotta stop with the fat jokes, man. All right.
Holy shit, fat shaming here.
Yeah, I know.
Kirk. For our listeners, I need to state this. I am a 22 stone man. I'm allowed to call other people fat.
You are fat.
If our listeners are going, God, poor Kirk being called fat by Skinny Chris. No.
By Skinny Chris, that's a sight.
No one's ever called you Skinny Chris. Nobody calls you Chris.
No, fair enough.
Sounds like a horror character, if I'm being honest.
Skinny Chris.
Skinny Chris is coming.
Do I skin people?
I don't.
Oh God, that is
It's
horrifying.
taking a long time to skin Kirk.
Donnie, move us on to a real story.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, my story is Microsoft escapades for the EU and kind of market share chatter that we saw over the last week over in sunny Brussels. So, EU are obviously or the EU regulators were meeting Microsoft, Sony, Google, ABK guys to discuss the merger and everyone's opinion of it. And it was all behind closed doors, but afterwards, Brad Smith, who is the president of Microsoft, came out and gave the performance of a lifetime for all the journalists, didn't he? It's wonderful. With all his pizzazz and his name, Brad. I mean, you're not a fucking 25-year-old college student, Brad. Come on, calm down.
He didn't choose it.
Fucking Brad.
Yeah, but you could change it,
Brad.
Ben, all right?
But he's not. He's not.
Eddie, you're right. He could change his name by default. He
I'm
could.
sorry. What grown-ass man is called Brad?
Thank you.
You know?
It's not his choice.
So the takeaway from it, obviously, confirmed that in Europe, Sony's got an 80% share, worldwide 70, and 96 in Japan, which will surprise no one. He said, think about the market in Europe. It's a market where Sony has an 80% share, globally it's 70-30, Japan is 96-4. These numbers have been remarkably steady for 2 decades. Even last year, when there was issues with Sony's supply chain, they came back strong. He then proceeded to show a pie chart for the world to see, the big Pac-Man pie chart, which showed 80% Sony in blue, 20% Microsoft in green. He then obviously reiterated about Call of Duty and that being on Nintendo for 10 years. He spoke about that. And he then obviously confirmed about the deal to put Xbox games day one on Nvidia's cloud service as well, which obviously was, I think the news broke that afternoon. Mm-hmm. It's funny, this story's changed so much for me. I'm against the merger anyway. But, you know, last year on our podcast on Afterlife, when this kind of started taking shape, Ben, you were the same, Craig, all of us, most months were ripping into Sony. Whether it was Sony's PR, Sony's hypocrisy, Jim crying Jim, he was getting called. It was all very, very anti-Sony. And I feel as though since Christmas, I've gone full 180 and gone kind of, and I'm kind of team Sony on this now. And I just think like what happened last week was such a stretch. Like the 80% pie chart he put up in pushing this narrative, I think is a massive, massive leap. Not showing Nintendo on it for one is one thing. He has an argument about PC share should be on there as well. But not putting Nintendo on it is a major stretch. But again, I suppose it suits the narrative. I know there'll be people.
But it was also a response to the people that the agencies or what have you that had come after them. Like that had been presented to them, and they were just reiterating that the market contained those two. Like
yes,
that,
but
they didn't come up with that narrative in it originally.
Well, the thing is, but they've pushed it because saying that the market share of console is only 80-20, well, you're missing out the biggest market leader, Nintendo.
Yeah, but so was the discussion beforehand. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Like,
of course, yeah. But
if they started a discussion including Nintendo, it would almost like seem odd.
Correct.
That wasn't getting discussed before. So
Yeah.
Yes, but what it's doing is, like I said, it's pushing that narrative that they're the little guys because they've only got this 20% share. Compared with, you know, that's the thing. You know, people will say, oh, but Nintendo's in a different market and a different type of game and things, which is fine. But if that's the case, then why is Call of Duty being put on there with this legal guarantee so important? You can't have it both ways. It can't be important to do that and not important to include them in a market share debate.
I mean, it's a fair comment.
Yeah. I thought Brad, I think he's got a bit of a cheek as well, making the claim about, you know, Sony trying to protect their 2-decade share. Ben, you said it best a few weeks ago. Well, of course they fucking are. It's their business. Why would they not try and protect it? But the bit that annoys me most is that people forget that Microsoft fucked their market share after the Xbox 360. Like, when the Xbox 360 came out, that was one of the best consoles ever made. It sold 84 million units. The PS3 sold 87. They were essentially neck and neck. And decisions after that has ruined it. They've done that themselves. It's not Sony's fault or anyone else's or Google's fault or Apple's fault or anybody else's fault why their share has reduced from literally being neck and neck. And
that's very true.
You know, and Sony hasn't done that by spending $70 billion and snapping up publisher after publisher after publisher. did it a very, very different way. And I just feel as though, like the message coming out from them and from the market is, it's woe is me. Think about the poor $2 trillion company Microsoft. Look how much help they need. Despite the fact they've got more resources, more studios, more staff, more IP than anyone. Yet the only way that they can compete is by getting a blank check out. Well, I think, congratulations, Microsoft. You're now the Manchester City of gaming.
Yeah, it's not. It's almost saying they have the ability to do this. I don't necessarily think it's the only way, as you're saying. It's not the only way, but it's definitely the easiest way. And I think their argument seems to be like that they obviously the smaller fish, and if we're talking about anti-competitive, they're presenting the narrative that it's already anti-competitive. And I think they're doing a very good job at presenting that by saying, look, at the moment, it's dominated hugely by one side, so it's at its most anti-competitive right now.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking crowded space now as well. That's the other thing that's a big part of this. So, I mean, we've seen manufacturers come and go, right? At the end of the day, Sega fucking fell on their ass because of Sony. And Nintendo almost kicked the bucket after the Wii U. So,
I said that the other week, but did they? I mean, they had the fucking 3DS, and that was absolutely smashing.
Yeah,
right?
but for home console,
was that at that time?
For home console,
it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was for home console side of things. But basically, I know, Donny, you said about obviously the check. We can just buy everything up. I mean, when the original Xbox came out in 2001, so that's what we're talking 6-7 years after the original PlayStation. There was that market lead there, and it was still a relatively new space in the modern gaming era. But it's they obviously made mistakes along the way. Now they can go, well, we'll just buy things, and that is the way that things are. Whereas Sony have managed to build these relationships, they've managed to, and they've purchased studios, they purchased them along the way, like from day dot. But again, it's a completely different arena now. So
yeah. And to be fair, and obviously it's a big difference between buying studios that you've worked with for 10, 20 years, made games, and buying a giant publisher. That's that's massive. Like I said, it's nothing to do with what side you're on or any kind of fanboyish. I don't agree with the merger, full stop. And I think it's going to set a precedent that we all don't want to see. But that's a completely different discussion on obviously what's going on kind of PR-wise. And like I said, at the very, very top of this, my opinion has gone very much from, I'm on Xbox's side here, PR-wise. Now I'm not. And I spent 6 months slacking off Jim, crying Jim. And it's changed. And I think we're all in agreement, or certainly most of us are, that this will go ahead regardless.
I think so.
Yeah, although again, about 2 weeks ago, there was someone being quite gobby on Twitter about it, and I said, well, put your money where your mouth is. I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, currently the Activision share price at the time was, I think it was $79. He goes, you're guaranteed 95. If you're telling me that you are so sure it's going ahead no matter what, go and buy shares. You cannot lose. You buy them today at $79, you get handed 95 by Phil Spencer. Go and do it. It's literally, because the share price hasn't gone up. It is a slam dunk for investment if you are that sure. And sure enough, I guarantee he didn't reply. He left it, funnily enough.
It's almost indicative of market odds, isn't it? So yeah. So the market that we all think it's going to go through, but the market
doesn't, because if the market did, the share price would be $94 because people would be buying them. So the market,
there's rumours of actually sales of shares. Actually,
the market doesn't believe this, the market doesn't feel that the risk is worth the investment, obviously. Otherwise, you're right. If you're a hedge fund billionaire, you're buying these shares, surely.
Yeah, and then it will converge on the 95.
Yes, correct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Well,
okay.
Speaking of Brad Smith, I mean, he's got a cracking name, let's be honest, Donny.
Great name. Great. That's
name.
one thing I've always said about Brad.
Yeah.
Great name.
Great name. Doesn't matter if you're 60 or
by
50,
default,
60.
yeah.
Doug Bowser's a great name, for fuck's sake. A man who was destined to run Nintendo from birth.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
So I just got a little bit to tack on to your story, which is kind of following on. So something else that Brad Smith said during his little press debrief was that there is basically no version of the ABK buyout if there is no Call of Duty included. So this is following on from the Competition and Markets Authority that had previously suggested Activision should sell off Call of Duty, which they indicated would make the Microsoft buyout more palatable, obviously to appease the whole regulatory shit to make it less anti-competitive, etc.
Yeah.
But in this statement, Brad Smith said at the press briefing that they didn't see a viable path should COD not be included. And Smith also said that the CMA suggested a remedy in Activision Blizzard splitting, and Microsoft only buys the Blizzard and mobile arm. That's King. So that's an interesting thing for them to say.
He also included, "Don't be so fucking stupid." Obviously, that's true.
Yeah. I thought this was a really, really good move and a really good statement, because the CMA are trying to get some concessions in there, and I assume are trying to, be the ones that cause concessions.
Yeah.
They're the ones that came up with these. They force them to do this. He's basically just said, well, we just won't fucking do it then, and we won't do the deal then. Like, you would then stop the deal, and I don't think necessarily, because of what's come out and they've talked about concessions, that they are interested in stopping the deal. They just want amendment.
They want to bang their chest, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. And this is saying, no, we just won't fucking do it then.
The problem lies.
This is the thing.
Because the problem lies as well is the fact that for 30 years, tech companies, all of them, Apple, Microsoft, Samsung, Sony, everybody, for 30 years has been buying up the little guy in tech all the time, little bits. The number, if you look at the number of mergers Google has done alone, it's frightening. And they've been allowed to do this with no recourse and just freely snapping up. And it's now came back to, I suppose, bite Microsoft in the arse, because they're the ones feeling the brunt of the backlash from all these companies kind of getting free reign to do what they want. And actually they're going, well, hang on here, we should have stopped this years ago. And so it's almost bad timing. See, if this was 10 years ago, I firmly believe this would have gone through.
Yeah,
I think the timing is typically bad for what's changing with tech companies finally being regulated, because they haven't been.
It's funny that I was just going to say, it's funny that it's the kind of gaming medium that's being like, this has all kind of come into blows with as well, because as you just said, like, obviously all these other tech companies have bought up fuck tons of mini companies, and it's obviously to feed their own future, isn't it? Like, like I think if I remember correctly, Siri was bought by Apple. That was a small company that had made Siri, and they bought it up and then put it into the masses. It's obviously always to feed the future, and this with Microsoft is obviously the same thing.
Correct.
But why are they getting into this fight now, and why have they got why is it all coming to them to
I mean,
deal
gaming
with?
is one of the biggest things in the world, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's one of the biggest industries in the world, and I think that's a good point from Donnie to say that, they're kind of feeling the brunt of all these purchases gone by in tech purchases, because that's exactly right. And now it's turned on them when they're trying to do this. It probably would have gone through in years gone by, but now it's so important. Because you've got other companies like Square Enix and people like that who are openly advertising. People talk about Ubisoft wanting to be bought. And all this kind of, it seems like this is a pivotal point in the landscape. And I know this is what you've been saying, Donnie, all along about, the deal shouldn't go ahead because it starts that precedent. And yes, because what's going to happen to Ubisoft? What's going to happen to Square Enix, the rest of it? What's going to happen? And then you'll have these companies all owned by a few. I mean, Nintendo in the background have done some purchases. Just in the background, smaller, doesn't matter as much. But this is what's happening, and then the landscape will just get dominated, and it will be even harder for indie studios to get anywhere.
Yep. That's always a worry, man. And you're right. I've said it before. I fully expect Sony to take Square Enix. I fully expect Tencent to go and take you. I think Tencent, they can't do it. I think it's 8 years. They own, I think it's 9%. Guillemot family, I think it's about 11. I think they can buy up more after 8 years, and that will happen. They'll just go, well, it's fine. We'll take the rest of it. It's
Don't suppose we know how long Microsoft will have to wait for this one. if it goes through, because they obviously did the Bethesda one not too long ago, didn't they? So that was only a couple of years, 2-3 years. Is that right?
I mean, if this goes through,
yeah. So if this goes through, how long do they have to wait before they can buy up other stuff? Because
it'll be a long time. They'll be done. They won't be able to buy anything of significant size for years.
Of significant, but I mean, what is bigger than Activision at this stage?
Yeah, I think it's more that that at that point they're done. It would be viewed really bad. Like, look at the pushback on this. I mean, you'd have to bide your time, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But it's probably wise that they bought up all the other studios before they did this one.
Yeah.
So,
you know what? It could have been a tactic. It generally could have been. You know, let's get all the small ones, then let's go for the big one at the end, because that's going to cause all the press.
Yeah, absolutely, and it gets Xbox in the headlines and people buying Xbox. But right now, let's talk about Nintendo, who have come out this week and said that they are out of E3 this year. So they're quoted as saying, we approach our involvement in any event on a case-by-case basis, and we're always considering various ways to engage with our fans. Since this year's E3 show didn't fit into our plans, we have made the decision not to participate. However, we have been and continue to be strong supporters of the ESA and E3. So Nintendo don't usually have a big E3 presentation. They do their own directs. They beat their own drum type thing, whatever that saying is. But they are on the show floor, and they do have the Nintendo Treehouse deep dives and all that kind of stuff around the E3 time and all this kind of stuff. So they're not going to be there. And there could be this, Nintendo aren't going to be there. Sony haven't been there in recent years, and E3's on the down and out again. How many times have we heard E3's down and then E3's coming back
banging
and E3's
the
down,
drum, banging
all that kind of stuff to their own beat, no doubt. Yeah. But I think it just would mean that this time they'll have a direct, but they probably just haven't got much to show. Like, why would they be there? Like, what are they showing off? I don't think they've got an awful lot planned for the back end of this year. I think this is the wind down of the generation. I think the next Switch is coming along real fast. Probably, I'm going to say it next March. Metroid Prime 4 cross-gen game. That's what I'm going to say. I just think we're in that time with Nintendo now. We saw the last Direct. It's like, okay, whatever. So Sony and Microsoft haven't confirmed or pulled out at all. They haven't said anything. Sony, like I said, pulled out in recent years. But there is a confirmation. Don't you worry. Ubisoft are going to be there. And they're going to have, supposedly, a strong lineup.
Well, just going to be rehashes of Assassin's Creed and
pretty much,
maybe, everything like that. Yeah.
Same don't mock my Ubisoft, Kirk.
Love it.
Did you see the quote though that Yves Guillemot? He said, "Oh, yeah, we'll be there if it happens." If so, everyone went, "Oh, if."
Ooh,
so
what does he know?
E3 had to come out like, "No, we're still going ahead. Don't worry."
What a shit stirrer! What a fucking shit stirrer!
It's clearly just the word. He didn't obviously mean anything by it.
No, he probably didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
If that happens, we'll be there.
Yeah.
It might just be that nobody told him they were going.
Yeah, he's like,
yeah, I'm sure we'll be there. I'm sure if that happens, sure.
The thing is, E3 is just not the same as it used to be. I remember when I was younger, I was fucking psyched to get magazines with the latest news of E3 and all that, like what new games were coming out. And Ben, you just said about like Nintendo's Directs, like we're just like with most of it. But when E3 used to come about, you'd be so pumped for every fucking
showing
announcement.
off new consoles.
Yeah.
My god,
new consoles, new games, everything was so exciting. But now it's just like, okay, yeah, great.
Yeah, I remember that showcase at E3 that Xbox did, and it was like, I think it had Metro Exodus, like it's one of the first games, and it was all the kind of like world premiere ones.
Yeah.
And that is so fucking cool. I thought that press conference, which was just game on game, and it showed Hellblade and all, it was years ago, I think. But it was just so good. You're like, yes, gaming is so fucking cool. Mm-hmm. But they just don't do
stuff like that anymore, do we?
No. I like the big stage presentations. I love
it. Same. We've all got great memories of like something you remember from E3. It's a shame that it's dead. Let's not beat it in the bush. E3 cannot last much longer, surely. But it's a shame.
Not in its previous state.
Yeah, it's a shame, man. Because like I said, everyone has got a favourite memory that that they have from days gone by.
I I think it was. I think it was E3 that this happened. But I remember Peter Moore, who was leading the Xbox brand at the time, came out on stage and he got like a Xbox tattoo, a 360 tattoo on his arm or something. He showed it to the crowd, and everyone just went fucking nuts for it for some reason. It's just one of those memorable things, like you say. You know,
I remember. I think E3 probably went down the shitter when it started opening up to fans. Like before that, when it was like when it was a closed event, it just seemed to be
more exclusive.
Like the media could get more out of it because then the media can have genuine meetings and talk about things and like place and actually deep dive into stuff. Mm-hmm. But when you let the public all in and it's a limited time where it's press, I just don't think you get as big announcements, or you don't get the time and you don't get people wanting to go there, like because they can't show things off to the same level that they could before. So I think that's when it started to go. But they needed to make money. E3 needed to make money. I mean, that's
fucking gamers.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Sony pulled out pre-COVID, didn't they? If I remember rightly, they pulled out in 2019.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not COVID. I think everyone else, obviously, COVID's a big excuse, isn't it? But
yeah,
fuck.
Yeah. But Sony actually just weren't there, were they?
Yeah, they just pulled out. They're like, we're done. So, this is shit.
Sorry, we're going to pay you to do. Well, we'll just put it online.
Yeah, just put it online for free. Yeah.
You know, Nintendo do that already. Nintendo, what the fuck are you doing paying them?
Because it must, in order to go to E3, especially if you're Sony or Ubisoft, it must cost a fortune.
Fucking fortune.
Even just thinking about accommodation for staff and all those little costs all add up. That must have been frighteningly expensive. For a couple of days at E3.
Well, and if you just went to Jeff Keighley, you could just get it for free at summer events. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah. Right, Eddie, take us on to do releases because it looks like a big week.
I don't know if it's a small week or if Pete just couldn't be fucked to populate it before he went
what I
away.
thought. I thought, seriously, is this it? Is this what we got?
Oh dear. Right, let's crack on with King of the Castle, coming out on PC March 2nd. Take your rightful place on the throne in this political party game. Rule the kingdom with an iron fist or silver tongue as you steer it through Steer it? What, your tongue? You steer your tongue through? That's gross.
Have you never steered your tongue?
Well, never through bloodshed, Ben.
Oh, I've done it several times.
Okay, now I know why you like vampires. Through bloodshed, intrigue, and madcap disaster. Can you keep your crown when others plot your downfall? More importantly, can you keep your head?
Very good. Love that.
So yeah, this is a strategy game. The idea is to build up your kingdom and kind of expand throughout the lands. You do it through like decisions and voting, so it's just like clicking decisions, and then there seems to be a lot of voting. There are up to 24 players that can join, and what's quite good, I guess, is people can join like through pretty much anything. Web browser, for example. They do advertise it'll be a fun game to stream because of that reason, so people can jump on and vote to like.
Oh yeah, that actually makes sense.
Yeah. The visuals are pretty basic, but it's not that kind of game. What did you guys think?
I was thinking this could be like a family game, but then I thought if I actually tried to get my family into it, it would end after 10 minutes. I don't care.
They just wouldn't join you.
No, it just wouldn't do it. But for an audience, this looks all right. For a
there you go.
I
guess it probably could be fun because obviously, like interactive streaming, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyone else?
I'm good.
Anyone else?
It just reeks of mobile game for me, which is a bad thing.
It does.
It's
literally they can join in on the mobile.
You can join in on your mobile.
Yeah, it looks
reeks of it because that's exactly what it is. Yeah,
exactly.
Nailed it.
Brilliant. The publishers is Team 17. Just so you know.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, it's a pedigree.
They don't miss. Right, move on to the next one. One Military Camp, coming out on PC March 2nd. Build your own military camp, manage the economy, recruit the best candidates, and train them to become elite specialists. Send them on missions across the land and end the war once and for all. I didn't read that blurb before I put my notes, because my notes say it has resource management, people management, base building, training, missions. So I kind of covers it in the whole fucking blurb, doesn't it? It has a campaign and a sandbox mode, which is good, because this game for our listeners, is like a military camp management simulation game. So I'm very happy that it has a sandbox mode, because I can imagine this being a game that you just play, forever. And getting very like Tycoon vibes, like your Roller Coaster Tycoon, and
it's 2 Point Campus like, isn't it? Because it's almost like cartoony as well. It's it's definitely got that vibe.
Yeah, a little bit cartoony. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, I like this kind of games. I think this looks good. I will play this.
It looks like a game that I would enjoy on the Switch. Or sitting there with my game set or your Backbone, whatever, and just chilling on the couch, playing it while you got some shite on in the background on telly. Yeah, it ticks boxes that for me. I might agree with you. I actually think it looks quite good, because I'm into that type of game as well.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad if you like the 2 Point games or theme games, Theme Hospital, etc. kind of
which
thing.
I do. Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. Theme Hospital. What? Yeah. What a masterpiece.
Yeah. Did you play have you got 2 Point Hospital?
I've never played it because...
Oh, you have to, man. You have to.
Well, you know what? I was going to, but then... Was it you, Ben? Or I think it might have been Pete that actually didn't like it. And then a lot of things that I think Pete said actually really put me off it.
Oh. Or was it it's literally Theme Hospital, but just a bit more modern.
Yeah, I haven't played that. I played 2 Point Campus.
Yeah, Campus is great as well.
Yeah, it's not my type of game. Like, I need to play that type of game on PC.
I get that. Yeah, I get that.
Right, fair enough. Let's move on to the big one. Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Or Dynasty, wherever you are on the map. It comes out on PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, and Game Pass Day 1. March 3rd, that is. A new Dark Fantasy Three Kingdoms action RPG from Team Ninja, the developers of Neo?
That'll do.
Neo.
That'll do. Close enough. The man's not feeling well.
I'm going to go with Neo.
Close enough.
It's Neo.
I'm definitely going with
Classic
Neo.
Neo.
Close enough.
Neo 1 and Neo 2.
So this is a third faction. Third faction? That's a third-person action game.
You just melded the words together there.
You just created a new term.
There you go. It's a third-faction RPG based in the Three Kingdoms era, but it has magic. I have not spelled magic right. And divine beasts. I'm sorry, obviously, to our listeners, but I'm getting a lot of Dynasty Warriors vibes, which I know I'm going to hate for saying it.
It's absolutely not.
Not even
fucking Sekiro Souls-like.
Yes, yeah. Or Neo-like.
Yes, Neo. Who would have thought? It's Neo.
It's Wolong is basically Neo 3 for some strange reason. Yeah, call it that.
It's a Souls-like.
Yeah.
Yeah. As in, it's really hard, right?
It's hard as fuck.
No, as in it's Souls mechanics, but there's no stamina bar in this one. So, like Sekiro. So, a mixture between Sekiro and Neo, I think it would be the best description.
There's a free demo on Steam if you want to give it a try.
And in fact, it's a demo. Is the demo still on console as well, or is that closed now?
Yes, I think it is, yes.
Okay.
To be fair, I think they keep them until release date and then they get rid of them. So, could be wrong. But, I'm all in. I think the Three Kingdoms books, I've read them all, which, if you know how long they are, is a feat in itself. So, and I love this kind of era.
So you love the vibe, Eddie. Does that mean that you might try this, it being a Souls-like, though?
I will play it, yeah, definitely. Well, you know what's funny, right? If it wasn't Game Pass Day 1, I won't play it. I don't know why I'm even going to lie, because the price tag will be big on this, won't it?
Yeah.
It will be.
Yeah.
So,
full price.
Yeah, and I've noticed with games like this, they do not come down in price. So, yeah, I wouldn't have, but Game Pass Day 1 means... I think I'm pretty sure I've preloaded this one and I preloaded Atomic Heart at the same time. I'm pretty sure.
I'd love you to play this. Yeah, really, because I'm interested in playing it, but also, despite I love Souls-likes, like I've played a lot of them, I'm also very put off by Souls-likes until I start them, and because you have to want it. You have to want it.
My problem with this, I've probably played, I would say over 20 games based on the Three Kingdoms era. But I hate the old monsters. You know, the big monsters that take ages to kill. And I do not enjoy it in games. I very much feel like I'm playing a computer game. But I will give this a go, because it's Three Kingdoms and it's on Game Pass. So, yeah, definitely.
Cool. Anybody else interested? Don, are you interested in this?
Despite it being on Game Pass, I know I'm not going to play it.
Yeah.
It's
not my kind of game.
It's not. I generally avoid Souls-like anyway, with few exceptions. Elden Ring being the only real exception I can come up with. Yeah. And I'm just like, I know two guys that played the demo. They both told me it's hard as fuck. One of them didn't even finish the demo, and I'm like,
that's the thing. That's the thing. Souls-like just means it's fucking rock. So
yeah, and the thing is that I've said this before, but if I look at the games that I've got just now sitting waiting to play, and the stuff that's coming out, I can fill this year. So I don't need to add a game that I always feel with Souls, like, you can't put them down. You have to just play them because you need muscle memory. Yeah. So you can't play for a few days and then wait a week and place it. Yes. No chance. No chance. You need muscle memory for these games. So it's.
I was saying the other day, it's the only reason why I haven't gone back to Elden Ring. Is because that reason. Else I would love to go back.
What I would say is that it looks fantastic. It looks a beautiful game. You can't even how it looks. If you're into Souls-like and you've got Game Pass, it's a no-brainer pickup.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice one. Let's move on to Melon Journey. Bittersweet Memories. What a name. PC, March 7th. Melon Journey Bittersweet Memories is a story exploration game about revisiting a town full of adorable animals with eccentric personalities. Yet, under its cute, nostalgic surface lies a dark tale of crime and corruption. I brought the features out here. 5+ hours of gameplay is their number 1 brag. 5 optional side plots is number 2 brag. And that's it. Oh, wait, no, sorry. It's got 50+ songs, which actually is pretty impressive.
That's quite impressive.
I'm not going to shit on that. So, this looks like the original Pokemon, as in, like, the looks, the aesthetics, even the horrible colours reminds me of when I used to play Pokemon, the original, on my Game Boy. Like that green, horrible screen thing.
Beautiful.
It's not for me. Is anyone else going to get this?
No. If this was on Switch, I think there could be something if it was on Switch.
Okay.
But it's on PC only. I don't think anyone's loading up their PC to play this game.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, no.
I mean, few on the Switch would, but definitely not the PC.
What's the return rate on Steam? Is it under 4 hours?
2 hours.
Oh, is it 2 hours? Right, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because 5 hours, if it was 4, then that's close.
You could get a significant way through this game, couldn't you?
Yeah, at least you get 2 hours, man. That's actually, I didn't realise it was as long as that. That's decent. When I think,
for no questions asked as well.
Fucking PlayStation, if you download it, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Same
you don't even have to play it. As long as you download it, motherfucker, no money back, you know?
Yeah. I found Xbox were fantastic at giving a refund when I required it, and Switch also gave refunds.
I tried to return Battlefield, and they just gave me a no with no response. I obviously wrote that, like, I've only paid it for this much. The game is effectively broken. It is not the initial product that I was promised.
And my friends are now no longer playing this game.
My friends are playing it after 1 hour.
Just as an FYI, if you really wanted Melon Journey Bittersweet Memories, you could buy it. You could buy the Japanese version on Switch.
Could you? Has it got an English translation?
I believe so. And it also says works on all systems, sold worldwide. So,
wow.
There you go. If you really want to play it on your Switch, Ben.
Dropping the fucking facts there. Oh, nice one.
You can stay quiet the whole new releases and then just come to me.
And dropped a knowledge bomb.
PS5 Lovely. And PS4 as well.
Shitting arseholes.
Okay, that's something.
Right, let's move on to the last one. Promty. It's a Switch
release.
That's a
weird name.
Yeah, it's coming out
terrible name.
It came
Is
out
it as bad as Brad Smith?
Brad Smith did make it, so
fantastic.
It came out on PC in November 2021. It's an underwater Metroidvania. It looks okay. It's very positive on Steam. Very positive. Look at that.
Let's go to Kirk for this one, because I reckon this is the one game this week that you might actually quite like the look of.
I don't.
Looks like Ori.
No,
in
it does
gameplay.
not look like Ori. No.
In
the
gameplay, it looks
subtitle to
exactly
this
the
game.
same. What? No, it's literally the same thing.
No, it is not the same thing. The art style is not the same. Don't put them in the same
No, not the
box.
art style. The gameplay. The gameplay.
Yeah,
But are you just saying because it's Metroidvania, then they're all the same? Is that where we're...
Yeah. It's a cartoony Metroidvania.
Yeah.
What do you want?
It's not
Side scrolling.
Yeah. It's
Thank
also it's I don't like the subtitle to it. It's called Fishy Adventure, and that's just not sitting well with me.
Sounds like
don't
my
know,
weekend in Amsterdam, to be honest with you.
Oh fucking hell!
God.
Let's tell the
We're a
missus.
family podcast.
No, we're not.
You said
Shut
this
up.
last time, Donnie.
Yeah.
Come on. Kids listen to this.
Look, it looks nice and all, but there's something about this that just doesn't make me want to play it. The charm isn't there for me. I'm gonna say that.
Fucking hell. Brutal.
Fuck,
Thought it looked alright.
that's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Not sure it is, but okay.
Yeah,
What about you guys? What do you think?
Thought it looks fine.
I think it
Very
looks nice.
positive on Steam.
I ain't going to play it, but...
Brutal.
There you go, Kirk. So you're the only negative Nelly here.
Oh, piss off.
There you go. My pick of the week is going to be Wolong Fallen Dynasty. I was very close of going One Military Camp because that's right down my street. But at the end of the day, Wolong Fallen Dynasty, not only do I know it's going to be big, but I'm going to play it definitely because it's on Game Pass. So I'd suggest people give it a try.
Yeah,
Dynasty
makes
Warriors,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, good shout.
Dynasty Warriors.
Dynasty Warriors.
It's you heard it here first. It's Dynasty Warriors.
You do know it's the same characters and everything, yeah? Like,
Yeah,
exact
I
same
mean,
characters, the same
play
people.
the
same-
game, Eddie, and tell me it's like Dynasty Warriors.
I will, because it's a third person, like, melee game.
Yeah, it's Devil May Cry, isn't it? Right. Shall
Devil
we
May
move on
Cry
to what we've been
shoots
playing?
guns. No!
Shall we move on? What we've been playing? Kirk, lead us off. Lead us off.
Okay. I'll take it. I'll just forget about Eddie. So I've been playing The Last of Us Part 2. I've started it.
Nice.
Nice. I couldn't wait for this. Couldn't wait for this.
First time playing. Never played it before. Only know one thing that happens in it, which I will touch on. Don't worry, I'll give a spoiler alert before that.
Lovely.
I want to start by saying that obviously after just playing part 1, this game, I can't tell the fucking difference between... I don't know how this looks so good in 2018.
I know. Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I imagine that there's been a little patch or something for the PS5, like to help it run frames better, etc. But
I think it was frame rate, wasn't it, Donnie? Did they do a frame rate patch?
It's not had an official patch, I don't think, has it? Not that I recall.
I thought they did a frame rate patch.
I don't know, but it's just looking at it, it's fucking gorgeous, man. And I credit where credit's due for it, because when I played part 1 and obviously compared that to the remaster that I had originally played, obviously there's a huge difference in the amount of environmental detail, etc., and like the lighting and all that, and I thought that looked phenomenal. But to go to a game that is 4 years younger, and I if you put them side by side, I wouldn't be able to tell you which one was which, based on just what they look like. I mean, it's a stupid thing, but just the amount of like shrubbery, like when you're going through forests and like going through the outback where the snow is, and just the detail of everything. And I'll tell you what, they've really stepped up their game with the animations on this as well. So the particular things that you do, because I always found that that part 1 was quite clunky with the way you crouch down and then you're grabbing certain items from the from like ledges and the floor and stuff. And I don't know, they again stepped up for this.
The melee animations during combat,
dude,
I think, is so good.
Brutal.
So
Absolutely
awesome,
brutal.
though.
And I love it. I love it when like obviously they are quite. There's a few different variations, but the one that like keeps happening is like when Ellie goes up behind an enemy and with her blade and just puts it in their throat and then just like nicks it and then pushes them to the ground. It's really fun. You feel it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's
like,
excellent. Yeah,
it's just like shit. I have enjoyed the fact that so far I've actually been interacting and killing more humans than the infected in all seriousness. I actually prefer that because obviously there was a hell of a lot of killing infected in the first one. I don't know where the story is going with this. I don't know how much further, what extras what in front of me, but I just prefer killing humans because the infected are fucking annoying. They irritate me. They're more of a nuisance more than anything. And I mean, I know that's their point, but there's something a bit more grounded with the fact that if you're killing humans and there's a reason behind it with a story, etc. It's the infected are just bodies at the end of the day, aren't they? And it's like, you're just in my way, get out of the way. But then there's an actual reason to kill these humans that are in your way. I'm going to touch on the snow effects again. I've said this for part 1. I said it for Callisto
You love a snow effect, don't you?
Snow effects are fucking amazing. And
fucking love a snow effect.
4.5-year-old game, yeah, fucking good on them. They did a fucking great job. Like that opening where you're fucking running around.
Class. Yeah.
It's absolutely class. And the first thing I do is look down at the ground to check what the snow's actually doing once I've gone past it.
Check the footsteps.
Are the footsteps going in? How's the snow reacting as my character moves through it? And it does like move around. I'm like, fucking hell, this is awesome.
I like to repeat my steps and go and see how far back before the game starts deleting it.
Yeah.
It's like,
I do that. I do
cool.
That.
Do you remember the days back on like PlayStation 1 or PS2 where it would only be like 4 or 5 steps and then it just disappeared?
That's what, guys, that's actually one of the things I did on Ragnarok that put me off because I was like,
oh, really?
Shit.
Oh, it wasn't that bad.
I don't
the snow lasted quite a while.
I drew a penis. No. I drew a big penis in the
snow
you
did.
On Ragnarok.
Of course you did.
Why did you do that?
Why wouldn't you? You're the god of war.
When the game's that Eddie, it's because when the game's that boring, you have to find your own entertainment.
That is harsh. That is harsh. Right, moving back to this. So the mechanics of the game are very similar to part 1. There was obviously a lot of shared assets in just the general feel of it because it's a modern take on the older game of part 1, and I can definitely feel the connection between these two. But some of the mechanics that weren't in the first one, like when you traverse in styles in ways that you weren't before. So you obviously still have the whole press triangle to get you, so the other character can help you do a boost up and they help you up. But then you've got these other things like ropes now, haven't you, that you can throw over pipes and stuff, so you can either use them to lever yourself up to the next part of the level, or swing in on ropes, which I thought was quite funny because I fucked that up a couple of times to begin with. I was trying to find out where the actual bit is where you press X to jump and actually managed to reach the other side, and I fell down a few times.
It feels a lot more real, though, doesn't it, with those types of things added into the game? It just feels a lot more fleshed out and a lot more like you're actually doing something.
I find it hard that, say, like your other character would just constantly be pulling you up all the time, because it's a lot of stress on your body to do that, to pull a full-on human up, and at least by doing stuff like this, like one of the character pushed an object off of a bus, or I think it was like a bus or a coach or something, just to help me get up. She could have easily like pulled me up, but didn't. It's just little elements like that I find quite interesting. Regarding story, so I'm really going to just touch on this. So spoilers in the sense of fast forward like a minute if you don't like. If you don't want to hear any,
if you haven't listened to this podcast for a while and realised that
this
particular spoiler is something that we are quite comfortable in spoiling, but
more importantly, if you're new to the podcast and we don't want to fuck you off, maybe just fast forward.
Yeah, then just take a skip on this one.
So story wise, obviously you start playing as Ellie. You see the relationship between her and Joel has built further since the last game. And very quickly, you're thrown into playing as another character who you find out is Abby, who's quite cool, by the way. But the story really fucking kicks into gear when Joel gets murdered. And now, I'll tell you what. I knew this was happening because I've heard the spoiler, because I listened. My favorite podcast, Grumpy Gamers podcast, spoiled it for me a long time ago.
Absolute fucking charlatans.
Fuck me, like it was so brutal the way it happens, and
awful, isn't it?
And just the way that Ellie has to watch, and I was just like shit. And that was, I just got to that part like before you get to the cabin, and the thing that makes it worse is obviously Abby's helped by by Joel and Tommy, and I'm like, you fuck. It was such an undermining thing to do. I mean, I don't know the reasons yet. I haven't got that far into the game, but just to, she was a goner, but it hit hard. It really hit hard.
Yeah, well, when it happened, because I obviously played it at launch and I didn't know, I avoided everything, and when that happened, I was looking at it and it was obviously happening because he was in a pretty sorry state before he actually got killed, and it's like I was looking at it going, it's gonna be a tremendous comeback when he gets up from this. And then it got one step further. You're like, not sure how he is, but he surely will. I
don't think he
got tremendous bounce back ability.
Don't think he can walk that one off, mate. There's no respawn here.
That's a flesh wound, isn't it?
Now the main thing for this, and obviously it totally makes sense as to why, but the tone of the game has completely changed now. Now, where Ellie was in the last game, like a bit of a brat, I've said this before, she's a brat, but she had a nice charm to her, and she's inquisitive, and she asks these fun questions, and she's really engaging as a character. Now it's the complete opposite. I'm just thinking, don't get me wrong, I get it, but I miss the old Ellie already. And I'm just like, oh...
She's grown up, Kirk. She's grown up.
I know she's grown up, and obviously there's a bit I've just got to was the museum section, and that was a nice area to be because it kind of harkened back to what I was looking for, and they obviously did that for a reason, probably because people were thinking like I was. But yeah, I'm really fucking intrigued to see where the story goes because I honestly have no idea where the story goes. All I knew was some main character names. What happens is a big thing, and that's it. So I'm really intrigued to push on.
I can't wait for you to play more because I do genuinely think it's a masterpiece. I think it's the writing is the best that has ever been in a video game that I've played, and it's definitely top couple video games I've ever played. It's amazing.
I do at the end of the episode where the big thing happens. My roommate looked at me and she goes, "Why did Neil do that? Why
not like this?
Why? Go and text your friend. And ask him.
Why did he let that happen?" I was like, I don't know. I'm in it with you. I don't know what's going on, so we just need to carry on.
Did you text Neil and say,
"It's like, mate,
not like this.
What are you fucking playing?
Not like this.
Not like this." So, but yeah, I'm really excited to play it and carry on, see where it goes.
If you actually text Neil that, he'd go like, "I'm sorry, you haven't. We've had so many. You haven't played my game.
Not doing that. Not doing that.
No, you couldn't tell him that you haven't played it.
Absolutely not.
I signed you a copy of that.
I know.
If you said, and actually, to be honest, Neil, I'd never even finished your first game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big fan though. Thanks. Cheers, mate. I think you put up a picture.
And not only that, but my best mate also thinks Nathan Drake's a serial killer. So.
Yeah, this podcast is not for him, but definitely get him on. We'll get him on.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, that's where I'm at the moment. That's what I've been doing.
Right. Excellent. Donnie.
Yes. So I've been playing 2 games. I finished and platinumed Hogwarts Legacy.
I finished Hogwarts too.
Yay!
So you didn't get the one was out.
You didn't get the platinum, did you?
No, because it's a waste of time.
and also, he's not playing it on PlayStation. So
need those trophies, baby. Need those 1000G, baby. I thought, listen, Hogwarts. We spoke about it a few weeks ago, so we won't kind of go over it again. I did think it was a fantastic game. Really enjoyed it, but for me, I just want to have like an honourable mention to the side quests. I thought, excuse me, I thought the side quests in this were really, really good. There's sort of 3 main story beats through side quests, which have got maybe 5 or 6 missions in them, and they take you on a little journey with one sort of fellow student in each of them, and they were really well done. They were well paced. They take place throughout as you continue the main story, so they kind of end at the end of the game. And particularly, there's one with a guy called Sebastian, and spoiler alert here, sorry. But throughout his little sort of side quest journey, you're trying to find a cure for his sister who's been cursed, and it brings up some kind of deep and interesting story beats about how sort of Sebastian's kind of dealing with this and how he wants to help her. And obviously, you know, it's a metaphor for cancer. But I thought it was really, really well done and a really interesting story. So fair play to the game for that, because again, I wasn't really expecting to see that kind of level of deep story. So fair play.
That level of side quest, because it's not just a side quest, it's like a side arc.
Yeah,
it's a side arc, isn't it? It's absolutely brilliant. I that was my favourite of those like side arcs. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I've gone back to Forspoken. I'd finished Forspoken before Hogwarts came out. I stopped doing it. I didn't go for the platinum at that point because I've had to do Hogwarts. So I'm now going back to it to get the shiny for it. So I'm kind of back playing Forspoken, and it's the same as I said to you a few weeks ago. Ben, you agreed with me. It's not changed. Combat is still great, and what I'm doing now is mopping up trophies which are combat and traversal heavy. I'm obviously long done with the story, so what I'm doing now, albeit it's a bit grindy, at least it's the better parts of the game. So yeah, that is me.
Yeah, good stuff. Because following on from the Hogwarts stuff, I finished Hogwarts. I messaged you when I did.
Yep.
I won't go into any specifics, but I was annoyed, and I said to you that I was annoyed because there's kind of like the illusion of choice at the end of the game, but it makes no real difference, and I was a bit annoyed by that. It left an actual sour taste on the game for me, but overall it was really enjoyable. But the one thing that I would say, like, I have no motivation to go and do like the bits on the map or whatever and do like the 100% completion or whatever, because it doesn't seem any point. And I don't mean that like, there's no point being a completionist. No, I mean like you don't get anything for it. Like
just in some games, you get the platinum trophy. That's what you get.
Yes, you get the, you know? Yeah, I know, but there's certain games like Elden Ring, let's say, where you get like you could earn all the weapons in your playthrough or something like, and then you can do a different build or something like that. Yeah. Like because of the random loot kind of mechanic, and like you do a cool puzzle or something like, or do something, and then they'll just give you some really shit loot. What's the fucking point in that?
That's the problem with looter-based games, though, isn't it? Borderlands, and that's all the same. It's just that you need that RNG to work for you.
I really, really wish they had some like actual placed items in the game that were really, really cool. But beyond getting the unforgivable curses, like I didn't really have any side arcs in my head. So that was that. But really good game. Really good game. The atmosphere and everything, fantastic. So very, very glad to have played it. Lived up to the hype in my mind. Just a few bits that, and I would say that I get awful critical of games when they get over a threshold. So when they are like up in that top tier, like 8.5+ game, that's when I start to get critical about these points. And they're the things that I say here. But overall, it is a fucking fantastic game. Mm-hmm. So there's no getting around that. But I'm also playing Dead Space, continuing on with that. Again, fucking fantastic game. It's more of what I said last week. And it's just really enjoyable to play. It's got a bit of nostalgia to me. That's a key thing there. Mm-hmm. But nothing more this week though. Nothing more.
Just a quick one on that. Do you, based on what you said to me last week about it, but you think I won't like it because of what I said about Callisto?
I think I've changed my mind.
You think you changed your mind?
Yes, because as I was playing it this week, I was like, Callisto is more A to B than Dead Space, because you can go off to CD. You can. Dead Space, you can go off and just randomly go around the particular level thing that you're on, or go back to previous ones, and it does seem to have a more of a freedom to it. So, and I think just that appeal of a more of a freedom probably does then change the mindset of this just being a corridor horror.
Yeah.
Like, so
this is what I so. It's the kind of thing that I'm not comparing them like for like, obviously, but something like God of War, which does have an initial A to B thing, but you've got your CDs and E's that you can do, the kind of thing.
Yes.
So that's the kind of thing that I'm looking for, I think.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's not like core it is the same, but it's not. It's not. It is more open. It does allow you to do different things, and because of that freedom, almost increases the kind of horror element of it.
Yeah.
So
nice.
yeah,
All right.
I think you will enjoy it. I look forward to you playing that one as well.
Cool.
All right. I've been playing The Forest.
Lovely. So that's in preempting that you'll play Sons of the Forest sometime.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that came out. Was it last week?
Yeah,
last week. Yeah,
could have been this week.
No,
yeah, this one's the prequel, so it came out in 2018. I did play it ages ago on. I think it was one of those free weekends. It must have been, because where else would I have played it? But obviously I didn't like it that much because I didn't buy it. But it was on mega deal on the winter sale, so it was another one I picked up over Christmas, put it in the back catalogue. And yeah, got around to playing it this week. Yeah, I'm not really enjoying it.
Okay.
Which is huge, because it's a survival crafting game, which I absolutely love those type of games. And this one is like known to be really good, like a good version of those type of games. Like I remember even watching Worth a Buy's review on it, and he plays every fucking survival crafting kind of game, and he loved it. So yeah, I'm really surprised by it. But yeah, I'm just finding it a bit tedious, a bit annoying. Like the enemies really just kind of piss me off more than scare me. I don't know if they're supposed to be scary. Same with like I guess the whole arc of the game is to like build up your base and like build traps, and because then you have a better chance of killing the alien thingies, whatever the fuck they are. But I just there's a lot of grinding. There's a lot of grinding. Like the amount of fucking chopping down of trees. I mean, I feel like I'm causing global warming just by myself in this game.
Can you die if the tree falls on you?
You know what? I've never experienced that, Ben, because since Valheim, I don't go near falling trees anymore. So there you go. Yeah, I found it really annoying. Find it quite grindy. I kept on playing it for like a couple of days, but it was one of those that, in the back of my head, I was thinking, why don't you play Empyrean Galactic Survival, which is a game I talked about many months ago.
Yeah,
and
you love that one.
Yeah, well, the thing is that game has everything that this game has in it, but way, 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 way more, and way, way, way more rewarding. Like the things you can build, the things you do, it's just way more. I felt more fulfilled playing it. I went over to that and I played it. I'll be totally honest with you. I played that, don't get me wrong, I loved it. But then I dipped into something that I didn't dip into last time, and that's called the Factory Blueprints. Now, I remember I did tell you guys about this. I purposely didn't go into them last time because I knew it would break it. Basically, you can build your own ships, hovercrafts, mining vehicles, and of course all the way up to bases and capital shits up in space. But they have this blueprint factory where you can go onto it, and people have made it, or maybe the game's made it, but you know, people upload their versions, and all you need to do is gather that amount of resources, and then you buy it, the blueprint, and then it.
Oh, and then you've got it.
Yes, and then you got it. Now, it's a cool feature, and I bet a lot of people would absolutely love it, because some of the bases, some of the ships look fucking awesome. Like, way better than you could build, because someone has taken time and effort to make certain shapes to make the ship look really cool, or maybe coloured certain bits so it looks just... like, and same with the bases, like, some of the blueprints are fantastic, like... They've built certain bases for exactly the thing that you want. So, like, maybe you've got, like, a garden area, or maybe something to help mine on that planet or whatever. So it is really cool, but it just meant... It meant that I was doing the same thing I was doing in the forest, is I was just grinding. I wasn't grinding like I went last time I played this game, grinding and then quickly building, like, a thruster and seeing how fast that would make my ship. Or maybe get real rewarding because I built a shield and then I would test it against certain things. This, because it's the blueprint, it's all just there for you. And then
it gets rid of the forever game thing, doesn't it?
Yeah. It gets... Well, you know what? It gets rid of a lot of the reward. Because, you don't get me wrong, you grind for a fucking hour and then you get a nice ship. But that's it. It's not it's not like when I used to play it, I used to grind for 20 minutes and then I used to get this new thing and I'd love to try that new thing out. But then my brain would go, oh, it'd be better if you had this as well. Or maybe if you had 2 of these, then you'd go faster or quicker, or you'd have better shots or whatever. You know, like there's a lot of reward there. So, yeah, unfortunately, I kind of fucked myself with this game. And I can't imagine me playing it again, which is really sad because I really, really love this game.
So the forest actually ended up ruining Imperium.
Well, I guess, yeah.
Fucking hell, the forest has a lot to answer for, doesn't it?
Well, there you go. I'll tell you what, the fucking Sons of the Forest better be amazing. Let me tell you. But on a nicer note, we got the code for Pharaoh, didn't we, Ben? So I'm gonna play that this week, and I know I'm gonna love it because I loved the first one. Well, when it came out, fuck knows when. Not to mention, I absolutely was addicted to Caesar 3. So I'm gonna play that, and I think it's gonna restore my faith.
Yeah, well, Pete's also got the opportunity to play it as well, so hopefully you two can have a chat about it. No, he won't play it. So I'm relying on you, Eddie, to play it.
Yeah,
so.
I know.
Good, excellent. Right, okay. Good stuff. Shall we move on to the feature then?
Let's do it.
Which is probably the real reason why Donnie was here, because, he's a PlayStation fanboy. So
I mean, he switched sides from the Xbox to the PlayStation camp now over ABK, hasn't he? And
absolutely,
he's got that PSVR too. Oh wait, sorry.
There's the third one.
But so there was a state of play last week, and I must say, going into this, I had no expectation. So I had literally anybody. Yeah, so Kirk, you were the same. Eddie, Donnie, any expectations on this?
Fuck's sake, Eddie.
Because I think what Sony's done with the state of plays is they tell you in advance what you're going to get. Rather than people saying, oh, that was shit, there was no Spider-Man 2. They told you what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Fucking calm down.
I don't think it makes it any better if someone says, oh, it's going to be shit. Oh, it was shit. I don't think it makes it any better.
Oh, you're right, it was shit.
I don't think that's the big selling point you're making out it is. But
no, but telling you you're going to get 5 PSVR 2 games, you're going to get some third party, and you're going to get the horrendous Suicide Squad. It's there.
They weren't lying. So to start
I don't
off
think they
with,
coined it like that, but that's fine.
They should have.
Yeah,
they should have saved me. They should have. That's 15 minutes of my life I ain't getting back, Eddie.
It was a long 15 minutes.
We'll get on to that. Let's save that for 5 minutes time. They started off with PSVR 2 though. That must have been a sour taste for your Donny. But
there it is.
The only one that I thought looked pretty decent was Synapse, which was basically like Super Hot VR, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that's what one everyone's kind of gravitated towards.
It's like they went right. Super Hot VR was a really hot property on VR. Let's have something exactly the same as it on PSVR 2.
Yeah.
And they fucking nailed it. So there we go. But they had 5 PSVR games for probably the 5 people that got PSVR. So that's nice. That's nice.
How about the
5.5? Because I heard someone got a charger, not the actual.
Oh wow!
Yeah. No, what they've gone is right. We've sold 5 PSVR 2s and 6 chargers. That's weird. That's very odd. They also, I don't know how this gets into a state of play, but they mentioned the PS Plus games for March, which included Ghostwire Tokyo, the underrated Ghostwire Tokyo, Uncharted Legend, Legacy of Thieves, which introduced a new serial killer, and Battlefield 2042. I'm sure you're all in on that, Eddie. Minecraft Dungeons and Code Vein. Code Vein is really old now.
So hang on, just on that, Minecraft Dungeons on PS on PlayStation Plus.
Oh, is that Xbox saying that they're going to put things on other consoles?
It seems like it, doesn't it?
There you go.
Seems like it to me, Kirk. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They showed Humanity as well. Put this on there because it's also a VR and a normal game, I think. It's made by the people who made Tetris Effect. And Donnie, Craig has played that one, right?
Yeah, so I asked Craig because he's got an early access. He played it in VR and he says he's only 3 levels in. It's a cool new take on Lemmings.
I was going to say it looks like Lemmings. Yeah, I used to love that game.
Fucking weird trailer though, wasn't it?
I'm sure you've heard that. I'm sure Eddie said that before, or I just knew he'd love Lemmings. One of the two.
He did say it looks more visually appealing in VR than without.
Yeah, that's,
cool.
that's fair.
Yeah. Also, following the PS Plus stuff, Chia is coming to PS Plus Extra and Premium in early March.
Yeah.
So they're actually introducing a new game like they did with Stray.
Yes.
So I liked that. I mean, it wouldn't be ever something that I would touch without PS Plus. I also don't have PS Plus Extra, so I won't touch it now either. But it's good if you have got that.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. But there is a game that Donnie is actually interested in. So at this point in the call it a direct in the state of play, I was thinking, okay, there's nothing so far. That's fine. They'll move on to something good. Then there was a Goodbye Volcano High, and I let out a sigh, and Donnie went,
I fucking love it.
there we go.
Wow. Okay.
I think it looks so fucking charming. And I went immediately went onto their Twitter account and immediately on their website to find out more. I think it looks fucking brilliant. Something about it is just sunk. I'm going to say teeth because obviously it's dinosaurs, isn't it? So it sunk its teeth right into me.
Oh, is that what they are?
Well, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're not human.
No. Well, again, that weekend in Amsterdam, but I think it looks so good, and I want to know more.
So the summary of this is it's some anthropomorphized like things, and they're in their last year of high school, and they're in a band, and God, and it's
Speaking about it is how I was.
The thing is, I don't do narrative games at all. But there's just something about the animations. Honestly, it's just it's. I want it.
Look, you got to remember, Ben. Donnie likes what he likes. Okay, he likes what he likes. He won't get something good. He won't get something good like a PSVR 2, but he'll go for something shit like Goodbye Volcano High. So
no, he won't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He gives a pass for the good stuff. That is out June 15th. So
can't
got a while to wait. You got a while to build that hype.
That might be a console buyer for me.
Yeah. If it was in PSVR 2, it'd be a bit of kit buyer for Donnie. So.
Yeah, nice one, guys. Thanks for that.
You're also interested in Wayfinder, right? As well, Wayfinder.
Listen, I thought Wayfinder actually looked quite interesting. I signed up for the beta for potentially, no guarantee you'll get it, just to check it out more. At the end of the day, if it's good, then great. But it's not something that I would go and buy without having some prior experience with it. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
That makes sense.
What type of game is that? What?
It was like third person, like RPG looter. It looked good. Yeah. I thought it looked good. Visually, certainly it did. The characters were all quite intriguing. There was like different spells, and to be honest with you, it almost reminded me of like Borderlands. Was it a bit
Diablo?
Yes, Diablo kind of. Right, I got Borderlands vibes in terms of like the cell shading and the things like that, and enemy types.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I thought, well, do you know what? If there's a beta there, let's fucking try it out.
Yeah, it didn't look horrendous. Yeah, I tell you what, really didn't look horrendous, and that was Baldur's Gate 3. I think this could be really good. They're finally going to release the full game on the 31st of August. They released the first act last year, and we do know that there's an early access version of the game as well. But yeah, this is good that it's actually coming out. Now, it's not a PlayStation exclusive. It's just not coming to Xbox straight away because they ran into technical issues.
Which are linked to the split screen.
Yeah, is that what it is it?
Yeah, they confirmed it's to do with the split screen.
Okay. Because, I heard immediately, and this could be just nonsense, that, Series S.
Yeah, it was Series S and split screen because of Series S. I think that's what the word on the street is, yes.
Yeah, when that comes out properly, though, Eddie, I assume you would love to play Baldur's Gate 3?
I've had it on my wish list for...
Okay.
When did it come out? A fucking over a year ago?
Yeah, a year ago, the first act came out.
In early access. Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 Shadow of Arm are probably up there with the top 5 longest time I've spent on a game ever. Wow. So
but how did that correlate with no? Then?
Because Ben, I think the reason why I loved the Baldur's Gate games and all those kind of games, or the like Divinity, all those type of games. I love. And what's good about those type of games is they're always cheap. They are. They're like Baldur's Gate 2. Like, I think I picked up at the time for like 10 quid, and then I bought it again, I think, a couple of years ago when I didn't have it on Steam because I had a disc drive in the old days. And that cost me like, £3 or whatever. And that's what I love about all these type of games. And that's why I've played a million games like this, but it's £50 on Steam. And it's been £50 since... No, I think it was bigger when it first came out.
Really? And that's just the first act? It's not even the full game?
Yeah. So there's like, in the nicest possible way, if it's 50 quid now, then it's going to be a long, long time before I play it. When I play it, I will probably love it because I've absolutely loved the others. In fact, I think it's a few games I've actually completed. But yeah, I'm not going to pay that price for this time.
Maybe when it comes out on Xbox, they might put it straight to Game Pass. Who knows?
I would be upset by that. Because it would mean that I play
it.
Win
with you, can you?
No, I'm sick. I'm sad.
Not free.
Right?
Do you want you're annoyed if it's full price.
Blanky over me, all right? I look like, I don't know, was it J. Hoover, the one with a blanket over him all the time?
You're ridiculous.
The reason why, Ben, is because I've always played these games on PC, and I think they're very much a PC game.
Yes.
Right, I'll play it on PC Game Pass then. What do you want?
Well, if it's on PC Game Pass, I'll be very happy, Ben. There you go.
Okay, but you'll be really sad.
Now, this is a roller coaster. I'm so confused.
If it's
I know,
on
he
PC,
goes from one emotion to another.
If I can play this for free on PC, I'll be very happy.
For free? If you can play it for free on PC, he might play it.
I might play it and say it's bad.
Excellent.
Fuck me
right.
Sideways.
Right. Well, the the showcase thing didn't get much better at this point. 3 new Street Fighter 6 characters. Great.
I mean, it's a big deal for some people.
It is, yeah.
Fighting games are massive.
Yeah. Destiny 2, Lightfall got a trailer. Great.
Again, Destiny 2. We've already touched base on this. It's a big deal.
Big game. Yeah, big game. Correct.
Big
Not wrong. Resident Evil 4 remake got shown again. Again, looks really good. I'm already buying it. Kirk, you're already buying it. Yeah. Confirmed that the mercenaries mode is in the game, and that's like as far as I'm aware, it's a timed thing where you kill as many people as possible, get a high score and stuff like that.
It originally came in Resi 3.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
That wasn't in the remake, was it?
I don't think it. No, Mercenaries was in the remake, I believe.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, okay. But it came from the OG RE3.
Right. Cool.
But yeah, but don't forget, it's a special demo, not just demo.
Oh, a demo. Oh, a special demo is on its way very soon.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck that means. That's a weird thing to say. Why can't you just say demo?
Almost odd that it wasn't shadow dropped, isn't it?
Yes.
Didn't we all expect it to be shadow dropped?
I mean, it's literally 3 weeks out at this point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I expected to say that. But then...
Oh, yes.
The pièce de résistance. The thing that we are all waiting for. Suicide Squad, kill the Justice League. I know, Kirk, you were looking forward to that. You made a YouTube video on it about 6 months ago, whatever.
Yeah.
You're all in on it.
I've not watched that.
I mean, it wasn't 6 months ago. I mean,
a year ago.
Yeah, a year ago.
Whatever. Whatever it was. And it's been 7 to 8 years in the making. And what did you think of it, Kirk?
Fuck me, this is dog shit.
I love it.
So bad. I mean, I don't know if it's a combination of their editing to like what I don't know what they thought they were trying to show for thinking it looked cool, but it looked terrible. It didn't look good. The traversal, the way that they're all kind of flying around and
floating,
and banter as well. I say banter with air quote marks as for listeners. It's not good. I don't know what they've been working on. This is really sad because it's Rocksteady Studios who are basically like the kings of the superhero world with the Batman Arkham series, and they've been working on this. And it's got a fucking battle pass as well. Like, who gives a shit?
I want to hear what Eddie has to say on it.
Yeah. Not happy. You know what's annoying is with all these games, if they did it better, I wouldn't care. So if this was a nice, like, 4-minute, here's the game, here's what's involved, then I'd be fine, right? But then my hatred for the amount of shit that you see in the whole 15-minute thing was like, well, come on, I want to see actual gameplay, I want to see mechanics. And then the fact that it just went on and on. You know what's probably bad as well? That it's the fact that the other games they weren't long, were they? They were quite snappy in a way.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't look, but maybe they were probably 3 or 4 minutes average. And then to go to a 15-minute long, everyone's chatting about it.
The only
non-stop.
thing I would say, Eddie, is they did say it was a deep dive on this.
I don't give a damn what they say, Kirk. Don't do it.
Yep, all right.
Don't
But
do it.
why don't they? If they're going to show 15 minutes, why don't they go right? 6 minutes of that is just doing a mission, because that's what people want to see. Like
That's what
I don't
I
want
want
to
to see, Ben. Yeah,
I just
that's
want to
what I
go
wanna see.
right. Just show us playing a relatively entertaining mission. If it's that good, just do that.
Yeah, it just didn't. And the way that they all talked about it as well, I was like, I almost felt like they didn't really even believe in it themselves.
Yeah, they were trying to. I thought they were trying their best.
Like, we know this isn't quite what we want, but we've got to try and sell it.
Donnie, what do you think?
Bring it back on.
I thought it looked utter shite. To be honest with you, I knew going into it this game was going to be shit. I had no hope for this and no interest for it. And do you know what? I'm going to give it one compliment, because no point completely kicking it when it's down. Visually, it looks good.
No,
it looks like a no. It doesn't. No, I think it looks like a current gen game. I'm not gonna pick holes in the fidelity, but that's all I'm giving it. Because other than that, it looks so bad.
So I can't agree with you on that.
Well,
I don't fully agree.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, I don't fully agree, and the reason I don't, and I fell asleep during this. I had to rewatch it. I fell asleep during the state of play.
1 minute into the last bit.
I actually woke up a minute before the end, and I was like, and I looked at the screen. I remember looking at the screen and going, "Oh, what is this shite?" And then it ended with saying it had the final thing on the Suicide Squad, and I was like, "Oh dear." And then I had to watch it the next day, and I don't know. Like this to me, this game is 7. I mentioned at the start, 7 to 8 years in development.
Think what that has cost in development.
This game, probably would have been quite good 7 or 8 years ago, and it reeks to me of someone who has or a team that were trying to make a live service game, had a checklist of all the things that would make a good live service game 7 or 8 years ago, and what they should put in it, and when games take that long to develop, it's fortunate that Cyberpunk didn't go that way, but it just doesn't.
Oh, sorry, Kirk. Yeah,
I was going to say, I do have a quick thing to say about something that kept fucking irritating me during the gameplay section of it, was the minigun that they were all using. The sound from it just felt so dead. Like it didn't sound like a really fucking powerful minigun sort of thing. It just was like
I don't know why they're all using guns. Like haven't two or three of them have literal boomerang, right?
Yeah, boomerang is name one of the characters. That's one of his.
Literally a boomerang.
Yeah,
right? He's got boomerangs that he throws. Presumably.
I can't remember.
I know he can he can quickly go from a place to. But surely that's a thing, right? He has as a weapon, not a gun.
Just to touch on Donnie's point about the way it looks as well. Cutscenes, sure. Gameplay, absolutely not. That's what I'm saying. Gameplay's
I mean, I wonder if it had a 4K. I can't be bothered to go.
No, I can't be bothered either.
I'm not doing it to myself either. Yeah. To come back to your point, Ben, I'm going to slightly disagree with you. I don't believe that 8 years ago they started writing this game as live service. I think they had a plan, and after year 3, someone at Rocksteady went, "Look how much money Fortnite's making." I think they changed the path midway through, and it became live service. I don't believe they've taken 8 years to make that as a live service from start. I don't buy it, because it can't be that bad in that length of time.
But they've stuck with the things that would have been cool back then, but we've seen time again since. This just looks like a generic...
It does. It's so bad.
Battle Pass, live service game. Mm-hmm. That just seems like if you didn't have the Suicide Squad IP attached to this, what the hell would this game be? But that's what you've got to ask yourself when you've got something like this. Could they survive without the IP, and would it be a good game? No, this would be literally nothing, right?
But to be honest with you, I don't think it's anything anyway. I'm sorry. Outside of Harley Quinn, who gives a fuck about the Suicide Squad? That's for me.
I'll be that fucking Shark King.
I don't think that's a hook really either.
Oh, hook, nice.
Thank you.
Fuck's sake.
I mean, it'd be hard to hook a shark, but yeah.
Right.
Okay. It's just.
Anyway.
I'm glad that we're kind of all on the same page on.
Yeah.
I've not seen
think
anybody be positive about it.
I'm not positive about it, but I don't know.
I'm gonna ask a question.
I might be interested.
I'm gonna ask a question. If we had to rate the whole state of play out of 10, what would it be?
3.
Ben? Yeah, 3. Okay.
3. Wow,
Donnie?
harsh. Taking see if Suicide Squad wasn't in there, and I said it's a 7 or an 8.
Yeah.
But that is so bad.
How good was Volcano High for you?
Jesus. Yeah, no. But the thing is that, like I said at the top, it did everything it was supposed to do. So what more did you want?
Doesn't make it good. Like, as I said, it's going to be...
Quality of the game.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
This is going to be shit. Oh, it was shit. Oh, therefore it's 10 out of 10 because it achieved what it went to do. No.
But you think of those VR2 games, 3 of those games will be very good VR2 games. If you've got a PlayStation VR.
Who's got a PlayStation VR?
Well, one of us could have had it,
2.
but you know.
There it is. Yeah.
Even he doesn't. Even the man who had a pre-order didn't get it.
Fucking hell, lads. You're fairly going in with that shit, aren't you? Jesus Christ.
The only good thing in this whole fucking direct
Volcano
state
High.
of play whatever was Ghostwire Tokyo.
And Eddie, you said 7 or 8?
I think if it wasn't for Suicide Squad being 15 minutes, I think the whole thing was structured well. I did like that. I wasn't bored until the last game. I was really pissed off with the lack of gameplay. And when I mean lack of gameplay, I don't think that's fair. The amount of cutscenes kind of involved. I think every single one had probably 75% cutscenes and then 25% gameplay.
Agree.
Some of them you waited like a minute until you saw the first fucking gameplay bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not that kind of guy. I want to see what fucking game I'm playing. I don't want to watch a movie before it. So that upset me. But yeah, apart from the Suicide Squad, I'm not mad at it. I'll never play any of them because I don't own a PlayStation and there's no games that interest me enough. But yeah.
Well,
yeah,
Along with
it,
it,
I think I give it a 4, and the reason for that is just because for me personally, nothing grabbed me. I don't care about the structure of it. We know the structure of the system that Sony use now, but the two that I was really kind of like hoping to see some good stuff with were Resi 4 Remake and Suicide Squad. But Suicide Squad let me down, and RE Remake is going to be good for what it is, but that can't prop up the whole thing for me. There was no exclusives in the show, I know that, but just something just to kind of, you know, it didn't do it for me.
I think Eddie makes a great point about gameplay, and there's the one thing about the Nintendo Directs get right is that they show gameplay even when it's 15 frames a second. They'll show it.
They don't give a
the gameplay shite as well.
They are not shy.
They're not shy. They'll show you what that game is.
I really hoped. I hope by now, in terms of gaming, especially the EU, given how strict they are with bullshit, I really hoped that non-gameplay adverts would have died a death. Because, you know, you go back 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that's all you got was game. It's like, I want to fucking see that. I want to see the game. And they're still around. And it fucks me off, Eddie. I'm with you totally. Yeah. I never want to see non-gameplay. I want to see what I'm playing. Yeah. I don't want to see a fancy video. I want to see that shit. I'm with you totally, mate.
Yeah, we're beyond that now. Beyond that. But, well, if we've got the state of play totally wrong, you can email us, podcast@grumpygamers.co.uk. You can tweet us at grumpygamerspod. We've got YouTube channel, Grumpy Gamers Podcast, and Twitch, Grumpy Gamers Podcast, all one word. And Donnie, do your socials as well.
Yes, you can get me on Twitter at Donnie's Tweets, and you can catch me on the Pure Dead Gaming Afterlife podcast.
Lovely. Well, thanks again for joining us. Pleasure as always.
No problem.
And when we've got some more PSVR 2 stuff to talk about, we'll get in touch.
Really?
Right, and for this week, it's GG.
GG.
Yeah, I got out in there first.
I'll let you have it.